Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for this exciting webinar, Transforming Digital Experiences with DAM and IIIF for Museums and Cultural Institutions. My name is Magdalena, and I will be your host as we explore how museums and cultural institutions can harness the power of digital asset management and IIIF technologies to enhance their digital strategies and, of course, engage audiences like never before. Today, we'll dive into the latest technological advancements that are reshaping the cultural sector, and I will go briefly through the agenda. So, as I mentioned, we will explore the latest technological advancements and the necessary tech stack for museums and cultural institutions that are reshaping the cultural sector, and have the opportunity to learn from a real world use case with Het Nieuwe Instituut, but also see a live demo showcasing how this integration of IIIF and digital preservation tools works. We are at the end reserving, as always, some time for your questions and answers. And please be mindful that throughout the session, we will ask you a couple of poll questions that you will be able to preview on the right. I think we have two planned. They're nice questions to get your interest and, of course, get your views on the technologies that we are exploring in this webinar. I'll go quickly to the incredible lineup of speakers that we have today. So we have Rob Jacobs. We welcome Rob Jacobs, Director of Axiell ALM Benelux. Lois Hutubesi, who is a collection system manager at the Nieuwe Instituut, our customer use case. Hilde Hage, our process consultant from Concord BV, which is a WoodWing partner, and Jeroen Goemans, who is the co-founder of Concord, who's going to be speaking more together with Rob Jacobs on the tech landscape for museums and cultural institutions. Together, these gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, share their insights, expertise, and practical tips to help you navigate this evolving digital landscape. Again, I'm going to mention that before we start, we have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So feel free to submit your questions and at any time using the chat feature. And we will be more than happy to, our speakers will be more than happy to provide you with their answer. Now let's get started by setting the stage with an overview of the current tech landscape. And I would like to ask our first speaker for today, Jeroen Goemans, to get on our virtual stage and, get you through these slides. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Magdalena. And thank you for your, that I can tell a bit more about Concord and about WoodWing and about our partnership with Axiell Collections. So a little bit more about Concord. My name is Jeroen Goemans. I'm the co-founder and CCO of Concord, and we are an integrator and a platform service provider in the area of content workflow solutions. So we have more than 20 years of experience optimizing content processes in various industries. So we started in media and retail, and also the last couple of years also in government and museums. And we have all kind of specialists. We can do business consultancy, development, implementation, and support of all our solutions. And the solutions are in the solution areas of planning, workflow, CMS, and DAM. And we are providing these services in quite a couple of countries. So our headquarters in the Netherlands, but we also have activities and offices in the UK, in Belgium, France, and Portugal. So what we do is we have a platform for content orchestration. So with DAM and with content management solutions, we offer a platform where you can create, manage, and distribute your content to all kind of systems. And a lot of this of the technology behind this is powered by WoodWing. So what I said, a platform for content orchestration. So this means that, it is a SaaS platform where internal and external stakeholders can, work together, and they can create and manage their content and distribute it. And on the left side, what we also can do is we can ingest all kind of data in the platform. So this can be PIM data or ERP data, CRM, but also data, for example, from a collection management system. And what we can do is, with the data and the content together, we can make nice digital products and can send it out to all kind of channels like websites, mobile or social media, but of course also print sites. So the main components are DAM, is workflow, CMS, and also InDesign automation. And what I said, a lot of this technology is based on WoodWing technology. And today we are talking about WoodWing Assets. But as a software company, WoodWing provides solutions in different areas, and these are all designed to fit into your existing ecosystem. So what I said, the first solution is WoodWing Assets. It's a powerful tool for digital asset management, enabling easy storage, sharing, and protection of digital assets. Another thing is a solution that is WoodWing Studio. So WoodWing Studio help teams to create and collaborate across multiple channels, whether it's for print, digital, or maybe the mix of both. And of course, is seamlessly integrated within the WoodWing Assets environment. And additionally, just on the right side, with Sienta and Extended, WoodWing is offering systems for managing organizational knowledge and streamlining enterprise information processes to ensure compliance and efficiency. But what I said, today it's the webinar, we are focusing on WoodWing Assets. So WoodWing Assets, what is assets? It's a DAM system, and DAM stands for Digital Asset Management, and which is essential for organizations to manage large volumes of digital content. And what we think is the home for all your digital treasures. And looking to WoodWing Assets, on this slide you can see some key features of a DAM. So on one hand, it's a centralized and scalable asset repository. So with the DAM, you have a single go-to place where you can where all your digital assets live, and that's what a digital asset management system offers. In fact, a centralized hub where everything is neatly organized and easy to find. And as your library grows, and that is what we see often. You don't have to hurry, of course, to worry. The DAM systems grows with you, keeping everything running smoothly, and no matter how big your collections gets. So if customers which are using a couple of maybe 10 to 20,000 assets in their system, but we also have customers working with 20 million assets in their system. So yeah, very scalable. Well, the second point, it's more about searching and metadata. So we all know finding the right file can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack, but with a DAM system, you've got tools to make it easy. So detailed metadata means everything is labeled and ready to be discovered. So on every asset, you can give all kind of metadata, and metadata is very important to find the right assets and to automate all kind of processes. And of course, since a couple of years, AI steps in to make searching even smarter. So good examples are like auto tagging images, recognizing faces, etc. And then with filters like file type or dates, etc., it helps you to narrow things down even faster, so that you are really find the right file in a very quickly. So metadata is really important, and to find assets. And what we see, there are more and more tools, also AI tools, to help you to automating this kind of processes. But our experience is that to add metadata, that is not something people really like to do. So the third point is it's more about integration. So a DAM system isn't an island itself. It's part of a bigger, tech ecosystem. So it connects with all kind of other tools, from content or collection management system to the design software like Adobe InDesign or Photoshop. So with the built-in APIs and plugins, the workflows can stay connected and can work smoothly together. So what we see also is that, speaking of workflows, automation is really, almost a game changer. Concord can set up, all kind of processes where assets are approved, distributed, or published, well, without, almost lifting a finger. I mean, we can automate all these kind of processes in a very efficient way. So this means also less manual work. It will give you more time for creativity and maybe other tasks. So the next point, it's more about user permissions and right management. So not everyone in your team needs access to everything, and I think for some teams, maybe that's a blessing. A good DAM system lets you control who sees what with granular permissions. And so this means that sensitive files stay secure, and everyone has what they need to do their job. And also what we see, it helps you to stay on top of copyrights and licenses, from tracking usage rights to setting expiration dates, etc. It's your safety net against potential illegal headaches. I can imagine. So one thing is about analytics. Number 5, yeah. So the WoodWing Assets provide analytics that tell you what's working. And so you get insights, which files are being downloaded or viewed or shared with third parties, or maybe in a campaign, which you can use to make other or maybe the right decisions moving forward. So yeah, these are 5. We think important things, often features of an assets system. So it means you have millions of assets at your fingertips in just seconds, and you can store almost all kind of assets types in your DAM system. So from video to images, all different type of images, from TIFF to JPEG 2000 or TIFF files, etc. Audio, PDF files, the InDesign layouts. And what we see is that with WoodWing Assets, it's your single source of truth. And so there is one place where you have all your assets stores with versioning, etc. And that's, the other point. So some other features is what I said, versioning. And so all versions of updated from files are kept for future reference. So it's also possible, version 3 to make it more a production version again, for example. So that makes you very flexible and see what is happening. For people from product or marketing and the on-fly formatting, I think it's a really strong feature, so that you can, when you have a PSD or TIFF file, you can easily make a JPEG file, and maybe you want to use it for a social campaign or something else. So the DAM directly can support you with this kind of work. Then there's an InDesign integration, very strong one. I think one of the strongest in the marketplace. So there's no need to check files in or out. So with InDesign, the InDesign files can directly open from the WoodWing Assets environment. You can edit it and save it back directly into the WoodWing Assets file store. Also send large files with share links. So when you have some assets which you want to share with people outside your company, that you can do it quite easily with the shared link. So you can share some of the images you want, and maybe you want to have some feedback or so for maybe a new show orders or something. So also a powerful tool. So about museums, WoodWing Assets, the DAM system from WoodWing. On top of this, Concord built some strong tooling specific for museums. So one of them is, for example, portals. So we have a portal so that you can exchange or you can publish specific content as a part of your DAM system to other organizations where you have maybe a collaboration with. We have all kind of AI tooling or a mobile app. And especially the last three things, the IIIF, the preservation and the integration, that is what we would like to show you a bit more about today. So the IIIF is the zoom into the assets. Preservation, it's more the storage of your assets. And we also would like to tell a bit more about the integration with Axiell. So this is a little bit an architecture overview. In the middle, what you see here is WoodWing Assets. That is the DAM system. And from WoodWing Assets, we have made an integration, a bi-directional integration with Axiell collections. So when you already start with the collection within Axiell, automatically also a record will be created in the WoodWing Assets environment and vice versa. So if you have all kind of assets which are part of a specific collection, yeah, you can see that these two are in sync and that you can also publish this directly to our website. What we also support is the IIIF. So directly from WoodWing Assets, you can you can have a view with support of the IIIF service, but you can also build your own viewer in your website, or and can use of the IIIF background service of Concord, so that you can bring these features also in your own environment. And also this is the Concord Preservation Archive. This is something what Hilde will show you a bit more in the demo. So sometimes, so when big TIFF files are coming in, these files are heavy, and what we can do is that we can create a JPEG 2000 file, and we will store the TIFF file in a different place where the storage is much cheaper. But there's a sync between both versions. And what we see is that the number of the storage number will be the amount of storage will be much lower when you're using a JPEG 2000 file or a TIFF file. And what we need is the JPEG 2000 file. That is what we need for the IIIF service, because then all the pixels are in the image, and that's what we need to zoom in to get the right quality. So this is a first introduction about Concord and some of the products what we have created on top of WoodWing Assets. And for now, I would like to give the floor to Rob Jacobs. He's a managing director of Axiell Benelux. So Rob.
Yes, I'm on stage, the virtual stage. So good afternoon, all. What I would like to do is to make sure I would like to see my presentation well. Can somebody give me a hand to show that I see the presentation too? Yes, thank you. So a little bit about Axiell. Axiell, we are a company which is an international company, sort of split up into two main areas. We have the public library side of it, which is a software application for public libraries. I'm not a part of that. I'm a part of ALM, which is ALM stands for Archive, Library, and Museums. So our software solution is primarily focused on collection management solutions for museums, archives, and libraries. In this example, we will take a closer look at what museums do with their collection from an object management level, and also connected to the assets. That's what Jeroen was talking about. But also in the same application, we have the solution that the library part of a museum is also integrated. So the connection between, let's say, museum objects and library and archive documents or the content is also connected to what we have to offer. If I move to the next slide, our vision, we'll try to sort of connect the cultural world and the knowledge to make it available for everybody. the main platform of Axiell Collections is probably focused for the organization itself, so that the collection managers, archivists can sort of handle everything in their collection. We want to make sure that we are providing solutions that our customers can share their content with the outside world. And primarily, this is what we are talking about. Once we talk about sharing the content, is one of the key features what we're trying to achieve. If you look at our company, perhaps a few of you already know our company. We're located in 60 different countries. We have quite a few employees. This says 380. I think we're a little bit more, over 400 co-workers worldwide, and primarily focused. What my solution is, what my responsibility is for the Benelux market. So we're focusing on the museums and archives, but internationally the film industry. For example, in the Netherlands is iFilm, or BFI, British Film Institute, or Filmoteca de Catalunya in Spain. There are various customers that are using our technology to sort of register their content and also make that content available for the outside world. Many of questions we get from Axiell is regarding storage, or should we use a DAM? We have assets. In the early stages, Axiell was a company that we had, let's say, a local kind of installation on a Windows environment where you could register your content. In a separate file folders, customers would have their own assets in their file cabinets, and the museum conservator could access those files easily because they know where they were sitting. Nowadays, we see more of a transition where customers say, well, I want to have in my collection management system also a solution that I can see the actual object. Of course, they would like to see a low resolution of that object because you don't need a high resolution in your collection management system, but you still would like to sort of exchange that high resolution image to the outside world. Instead of using a folder structure, we always ask the question, are you looking for just storage? So you might only want to have a storage solution, or would you like to have a DAM solution, meaning all the topics that Juno already mentioned a little bit, is being able to do a little bit more than just storage, to be able to share the content, to be able to, if you have a photographer that makes photos of your object and that you are ready to sort of check if that information is ready to go to your collection management system. So there's a workflow attached to that, so you're able to sort of control the flow of content coming in, besides having somebody putting it up to your website directly or in your file folder directly. One of the main things is primarily is centralized storage, to make it easy not only for your collection management solution, but also for perhaps in a museum world, your marketing environment, so that you can share the same image because it's already there. So you don't need to have a photographer coming again to do the same shooting again for the same object that you already been having. In the previous world, we have seen that many of our customers multiple images of the same object, and then they didn't even know about it. So to make sure that you are able to centralize the storage, that really helps you out to sort of make it more available. Also, in terms of collaboration, you can ask a customer to sort of, or your photographer to put it online. You're able to make more teamwork. So if you would like to sort of handle an image and crop it or make annotations to that image, which is directly then viewable for the rest of the organization, is a big advantage if you use a DAM solution. Also, in terms of digitalization, something that you already mentioned, long-term preservation. I always try to compare it because long-term preservation means you have digitized an object you would like to keep, but you're not using it very often. So either from a kitchen perspective, I always say, well, when you have it on the counter, you were going to use it on a daily basis, so that's fine. When you have it in the freezer, in the cooler, you might need it once in a while, so that's okay. But if you don't need it very often and you still want to have a storage, you put it in the deep freezer. So that's long-term preservation. That saves you cost in terms of storage. You can play with it. It's still always available. but you not always need it directly. So by doing those kind of topics, you teach you to sort of maintain the solution for you. Workflows is interesting. What we're trying to do with collections is you have the metadata of your object and you have the technical metadata of your asset. So if you use your DAM, you'd like to have a bi-directional connection using an API so you can share your content from your technical assets in your collection management system, but also from your descriptive metadata into your DAM system. Obviously, you don't want to share everything. You just want to share the key elements so that if you go into the DAM solution, you still can find the objects because you have a small piece of description. But also, if you work on your collection management system, you also have some kind of technical metadata that you know, for instance, who the photographer was, and you are able to register it. That's all fine. From moving from a local implementation, which many of our customers had, by moving far more to a cloud-based solution, this is a typical example where you will go online based on any location where you're sitting. You can access your collection management system, but also you can also directly access your high-resolution images, and it's all integrated. That makes it far more easier to maintain as well. If move to the next one, is you can see a little bit of a picture how we are presenting in a sort of a nutshell how Axiell collection is presented. The green part is managed, so everything you need to do to manage your collection itself, incoming loan, outgoing loans, exhibitions, move analysis from depot to a collection location. That's all in the managed side. If you want to analyze and plan, you can see how many objects have we on loan, where they came from, what's our next plan, how to handle it. Is there a new collection coming in because it's been acquired, and so on and so forth. So that's all in the analyze and plan solution. And the very important one, that's why we are focusing on now, is engage. So I would like to share the content with the outside. The most important things in terms of the engage is what we're talking about is, for instance, IIIF. IIIF is also very often very connected to linked open data. So if you are able to connect your data with other institutions by using either specific stories and also make those stories available for others by the technology of linked open data. I won't go into that too much because sharing triples, it might ring a bell. But also if we talk about the images yourself, you would like to have a IIIF manifest, which you are able to share your high resolution image on a website so that people can browse to that specific image. And also if there are elements on that image which you don't want to share, you can sort of make annotation, make parts of it unvisible and not creating an additional image. You still have the same image available, but based on rights and based on how you use your IIIF implementation, you can sort of play around with that and still have the same image itself. You don't want to make duplicates or derivatives. In this example, you see one of the examples of a picture. On the 10th side, you see the picture, and if it's presented online, you can really, because it's a tiled image, you can really zoom into the very much detail, and that's one advantage. Researchers and students don't necessarily need to come over to your institution to sort of take a look at it, but your content is online. Your image, your assets already there, so you can play around with that, and people can sort of browse and zoom into it. Obviously, within the IIIF, there are more options available by creating annotations, by creating matching maps to it. Another example, this is one example of the Getty Institute, where you're, if you go online and look at their museum collection, you can really browse those specific images and really take a close look at it in just of steps of a simple PDF or simple JPEG image itself. That's what we're trying to do with the connection between the DAM solution and collection management solution, by making sure that we have that connection available and that you can play around with it. The use cases that is coming up, what we've done together with the New Institute is offering the collection management system of ours, making the connection to the WoodWing asset environment WoodWing DAM solution, and have the linked data involved that you're able to create an research and public enhancement solution supported by open data technology. I think the next step is to take a close look at how the new institute has been working with that, presenting the customer use case. And I will leave the stage.
Hello and welcome to Lois Hutubesi. She is joining us from the Nieuwe Instituut today to share her story about the use case of implementing the IIIF technology with connecting it with the DAM and the digital collections management software they use. Hello, Lois, and you please briefly introduce yourself to tell us a bit about your organization and, of course, share your main role and responsibilities at the Nieuwe Instituut.
Thank you, Magdalena. Yes, so my name is Lois Tubesi. I work at Nieuwe Instituut, a museum for architecture, design, and digital culture in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands. Nieuwe Instituut holds the Dutch National Collection of Architecture and Urban Planning. This is one of the largest architectural collections worldwide, and it's composed of an approximated 4 million archival items, ranging from architectural drawings to 3D models, but also documentation, both analog and digital work. As a collection system manager, I'm accountable for the management and optimization of all information systems used to manage that collection, and for streamlining all related work processes. So 2 examples of these systems are Axiell Collections, our collection management system, and WoodWing, which is our digital asset management system. And one of our latest endeavors has been to integrate IIIF with our digital asset management system.
Thank you for your nice introduction. It sounds interesting. You have so many assets. Well, of course, many heritage organizations do. So my other question would be, what were the primary reasons or goals that led you, your institution, to look into integrating IIIF with your DAM system?
Well, a key motivation is that we were actively approached by end users of our collection to disclose our images using IIIF. So, for example, there's a digital curator at the Technical University of Delft library that wants to make use of our architectural drawings for his project called All Maps, which is a tool that makes it easier and more inspiring to curate, georeference, and explore collections of digitized maps. Another reason is that the use of IIIF is one of the key criteria to being compatible with the Dutch Digital Heritage Network. The Nieuwe Instituut is one of the main partners of this network, and together the network has developed the National Digital Heritage Strategy, which aims to make it possible for anyone to effortlessly browse through shared heritage online. And a key goal of this strategy is to unlock and connect heritage using linked open data, which includes publishing metadata as linked data, but also using IIIF for access to image collections. In practice, the urgency of using IIIF increased when we needed a solution for viewing images, for which a IIIF viewer seemed to be the best solution. So the advantages are that images load quickly, even in high resolution. You can zoom in, juxtapose, and compare images from different heritage collections while maintaining the image quality. But you can also edit, crop, and annotate images because the images don't need to be copied and restored, which also makes it more environmentally sustainable.
Okay, thank you. You already mentioned a lot of the reasons and benefits of the IIIF technology, but could you maybe summarize the main benefits that your institution has seen from integrating IIIF with the DAM system and digital collection management system?
Yes, sure. So as a set of open standards, IIIF makes it easier to make digitized, in our case, architectural models, photographs, and other images accessible online, along with the related metadata. So IIIF makes it possible for anyone to access the material in a standardized way. So this way, virtual collections can, for example, be created with images from different environments, even from different collections. So heritage organizations can use IIIF to tell stories and present their collection in a new way.
Thank you. And well, my last question would be if you could share any advices for people that share a similar role to you, or those that are part of this webinar and that are looking into the IIIF technology and then, of course, considering it to implement it within their organizations.
I think the most important would be to understand the use case that is relevant to your own collection. Well, what's is that? Or sorry, I heard noises. I don't know if you want to start the last question again.
Yes, please. So, what advice would you give to others in similar roles, those considering their organization?
The most important would be to understand the use case that is relevant to your own collection. For us, it helped that we were approached by end users who wanted to make use of IIIF so we can sit with them to bounce ideas with. I would also ideally choose a digital asset management system that already integrates IIIF. So for us, working with Concord has been of great help to facilitate the integration of it in our existing systems, which are Axiell Connections and WoodWing. And important to note is that IIIF has been developed by, but also for the international heritage community. So it's supported by a whole community of libraries, archives, and museums that already work with it, continuously develop, test, and promote it. And there is this great community website that provides a lot of background information, guides, and training to get you started with IIIF yourself.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your insights on harnessing the power of IIIF technology and, of course, in correlation by connecting it to the main systems that are managing your assets and digital collections. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll see each other next time to share more of these nice insights.
Thank you for the invitation.
Well, I'd like to thank the speakers and now move on to the last part of the presentation, which is viewing a demo. And this is a pre-recorded demo by Hilde Hage, the process consultant of Concord. And I hope you enjoy and learn more about how you can connect these technologies to harness their power even better. Stay tuned to watch the full demo.
Hello, my name is Hilde Hage, and this presentation is about digital asset management of museum collection imagery. Collection items are managed in the collection system of Axiell collections, where collection items are described. In addition to a description, a visual representation of the collection item is also required. These visual representations are managed as digital assets in WoodWing Assets. The collection items are displayed on websites. When a website is designed for subject matter experts, it requires a high level of detail, not only in the item description, but also in the visual details of the images. Therefore, deep zoom capabilities in imagery is necessary. Concord provides this functionality through the IIIF service. In addition to make digital assets accessible to the public, museums have a need to preserve original digital assets with a high degree of data integrity over the long term. Therefore, Concord provides the Preservation Archive. In this presentation, you will see how the Preservation Archive is managed via WoodWing Assets, and you will see the IIIF Zoom functionality in action. First, we will start with the demo of the Preservation Archive. I will log in WoodWing Assets. And over here you will find the collection folder in which collections are stored. This is a collection, and per collection the files are stored within the collection folder. The goal for the museum is to store DPAC 2000 files in the collections in DAM, and they would like to store the original TIFF file in the Preservation Archive. But before the Preservation Archive process can be started, relations need to be established between the asset which lives in WoodWing Assets and the item which lives in Axiell collections. And over here you see metadata which is delivered to the assets via Axiell collections by using the Concord interface between Axiell collections and WoodWing Assets. So I will start the archive process. I will go to the workflow panel, and within the workflow panel you will find the 3 functions which are included in the archival process. The archive action, the retrieve action, and the delete action. I will start with the archive action. When I push the archive button, I can select 1 or more files. Then the archive process will start. In this process, we created a flow in which after archiving successfully, the file will be converted to a JPEG 2000 file. So the TIFF file will be stored in the preservation archive, and then a next Concord service will transfer the TIFF file to a JPEG 2000 file. The Concord rendition service is also able to convert files to all kinds of file types. But in this flow, the JPEG 2000 conversion is selected. Over here you will see that the TIFF file is changed to a JPEG 2000 file, and you see that the archive is succeeded. The TIFF file is stored in the preservation archive. Over here you will find the preservation archive, and I can search for the file. And over here you will find the file. It's stored in AWS in a Glacier archive. And I can open the file. We will store the file, but we also add extra information like a date stamp, and the file is created within the preservation archive. We will create a data checksum, and we will store metadata which is related to the file. Now I will show how you can retrieve and delete a file. You select a file or multiple files, push the retrieve button, and then the retrieval process will start. The retrieval process will fetch the original file from the preservation archive and will store it in the retrieval folder. The original file is then stored in the retrieval folder, but you will also find the converted JPEG 2000 file in the DAM system. You can also delete a file in the preservation archive. You can select a file, push the delete button, and now the deletion process is started. In this case, the file is deleted in the preservation archive, but the JPEG 2000 file is preserved within the DAM system. Now I will start with the demo of the ingest process. See is that museums upload many files in one go. So we created an import process, so no manual steps are required. The only thing what is required is a structured file name. I will show it via the import folder, but they can just drop files in a folder. So I select the folder, I go to the upload files button, and I can select one or more files. In this case, I will select just one file. And I will upload the file. File is placed in the upload folder. Well, it's already processed. But what happened, the file was uploaded in the upload folder, and then ingestion rules were applied to the import folder to check if the file could be imported in the collection folder. This file cannot be imported in the collection folder because, and we can check it over here, because there is already a file stored in the folder. So as an archivist, I need to make a decision, and I will take the decision to upload it anyway, and I will replace the already stored file for the new file. You don't need to take any actions. It will be automatically pushed to the preservation archive, converted to a JPEG 2000 file. And the only thing the end user has to do is to check if files are stored in the check folder. In this last step, I will demo the IIIF service. Concord created a IIIF service, and you can request imagery via our IIIF service. You can create your own website, include a IIIF viewer, and request for those imagery. But to show the functionality, we added also a IIIF viewer within WoodWing Assets. I will select an image, this image, and push the IIIF viewer. Over here you see what is happening. In the production environment you see not those tiles, but we activate those tiles to explain how the system is working. So I requested tiles from the IIIF service, and when I zoom in, new tiles are requested. So now again new tiles are requested. And in this way, we achieve a deep zoom functionality within a IIIF viewer. Thank you for watching the video.
And that was the demo that was pre-recorded by Hilde. I hope you understood the flow of how you can use the technology built on top of WoodWing Assets in terms of having the best usage of the IIIF framework. Now I'd like to move on to our Q&A section and bring and ask our main speakers to come on stage. So it's Rob and Jeroen.
Yep, backstage, and I hope my connection is stable enough that you can hear me.
I hope so. It is unfortunate that you had some issues with the internet before when you had your presentation part. Jeroen, and can you also come on stage, please? Because we want to start with the Q&A part.
I think I am or not.
Oh, yes, you are.
I see myself, yeah.
Apologies. One of the first warm-up questions would be for Rob, and that's, what are the key benefits museums can expect when combining digital asset and digital collection management systems with the IIIF framework? Rob, can you please summarize the key benefits?
I will try to summarize the key benefits. It's sort of two questions in one. The first one is the connection between collection management and a digital asset management solution makes it for museums or institutions an integrated solution. You have your collection management technology and also a very well organized management solution together. By combining the objects you have in your museum with the digital assets regarding that object, that makes it one family. If you talk about engaging your content with the audience, then the IIIF, especially for assets, gives you great opportunities to share that content with the outside world because of the tiled situation, and that you're offering the public, students, researchers to do really research by zooming into that image. That capability is primarily supported by IIIF, and all the other additional IIIF functionalities like annotations, like making selections, cropping images, and still having the original file still there. So that complete solution supports you to having something that's way easier to maintain and manage than keeping everything really separate. I hope that's a sort of a
Yes.
overview of the question, an answer at least.
I think it's
You
a
are-
great answer. I hope everybody would agree. Now let's go to Jeroen. A question for you would be: what trends are you seeing in the way museums are using content orchestration to engage audiences?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, what we see is that museums are using more and more channels in order to also to get engagement with their audience. So, for example, what we see is, for example, like a post-visit engagement. So, after visiting, attendees can receive personalized emails, updates on new exhibits, or exclusive digital content. To publish this content, it is good that you have this content somewhere in place where it is well structured. So in order to get more and more personal, to get more personalized experience, it's really important that you have your content in one system in a structured way, because then you can automate it. Otherwise, that is not possible. So this is something, but also using all kind of mobile apps. Mobile apps with content organization features allows visitors to create more customized itineraries. Also, like augmented reality, for example, you need all kind of content to get these kind of things in place. So yeah, lots of possibilities, but all of them are, well, if you want to to push more content to different channels and being more specific for specific user and target groups, yeah, it is important that you have your content orchestrated in a structured way.
Thank you, Jeroen. We do have quite a lot of questions from the audience. I'd like to go with one that's interesting from Daniel Davis. How do the museum and collection group handle raw files? Where do they store them and how they manage them? What solutions does WoodWing provide for this? Jeroen?
Yeah, I didn't hear the question very well, but it is where do we store the raw materials?
The raw file.
The raw file, yeah. Well, that is where we use the preservation archive for. So and more the so we use like the how do you call it? Yeah, different version we are using for publishing purposes, etc. But the raw material, because most of them, for example, they are TIFF files, heavy files, so we store them in a different, so to keep the assets environment as clean, but also as light as possible. So yeah, that's. I think that was one part of the question. I think there was something before, but I didn't hear that.
Wow. How do the museums and collections in this group handle raw files? Where do they store them and how they manage them? What solutions does WoodWing provide for this? So
Yeah,
like,
well,
let's
well,
split.
in the DAM system, you manage all your content. So yeah, the raw material, you can keep it in your DAM, of course, but from a cost perspective, sometimes it's more interesting to put it on a different storage layer. But that's and well, using the DAM, you can manage your content and can see, okay, how are you going to use it for different purposes. And what you can also do if you have more workflow and you want to create additional content for marketing purposes or so, you can also use the studio environment, which is more content creation. And together with them, yeah, you can create beautiful products, digital products to push out.
Yeah, and if I can answer that question too, if once you have a raw file in your DAM solution, the predefined settings for making derivatives that you would push back to your collection management system as a reference, that's been because we have the API available. We predefine how the derivative looks like, so you keep your raw file, but you might have a low resolution JPEG for identification of an object collection. That's a nice part of working together with the DAM solution as well. Yeah.
I hope this was these answers are enough for Daniel. There is a question about AI, even though we didn't touch the topic, but still, will it be in a closed or / secure system for data protection?
Yeah, that is possible. I mean, when you look to AI, you can just use all kind of services which we can integrate in your workflow. The services like ChatGPT or others. But you can also you can set up your own large language model, for example, so that you can train the system, which is obviously more secure to do it. So yeah, it can be from. It depends a little bit of the how you want to use it and what the goal is. But yeah, that is possible.
Okay, thank you. And the last question would be I think this is more for Jeroen, but if Rob also wants to answer, that's fine. How can organizations ensure their workflows remain scalable as their digital collections grow?
Yeah, well, from the content side, yeah, you're using a DAM system. I mean, using a DAM system, I already said it in my introduction. You can start with maybe a couple of thousands or maybe a couple of 10,000s of images, and you can just grow and so it's quite scalable. And that is also, I think, one of the strongest point of cloud. I mean, yeah, you can grow not only in images but also in number of users, or if you need more. Yeah, so the systems are also scalable. So that's
And then there is this is going to be probably the last question. Is Kirsten is saying that I think the question was, is the information in the DAM protected from data mining for AI training?
yes, of course. Yeah,
Wait.
good question, but yes, of course. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I in due course of time, I think it's better to wrap up and of course ask the audience if they have any follow-up questions to feel free to ask them. Send it to webinar@woodwing.com and I will make sure that our speakers today get them and of course answer them directly to you. I'd like to thank everybody today for this great immersive presentation from Jeroen, Rob, Hilde, and of course, thank our customer, the Het Nieuwe Instituut, for their time to share the use case of implementing the IIIF framework and connecting it with our DAM. Thank you, everybody. Again, I'm wishing everybody a lovely day, and I hope to see everybody soon. This was again going back to the main topic. It was a WoodWing organized webinar, but it was supported by Concord, Axiell, and AUNF. Concord and AUNF are our partners of WoodWing, and they are also system integrators. Concord is active in primarily in the most part of of Europe or EU, and AUNF is in charge of our DACH region customers. So feel free if you want to reach out to us to find out more on how our partners can support you in your journey to implement and customize and integrate solutions that are relevant for your organization. Thank you, everybody. Once again, we did have some nice interactions. We had 2 poll questions that were answered by majority of the audience. Again, it was a great session, and I hope to see you again soon. So take charge of your content and unlock your potential. That's our brand motto and logo. Wishing everybody a lovely rest of the day and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
You should-